debated in the past years that work-life balance actually doesn't exist. It's because work is life.
Imagine you work 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day, and then you work 50 hours a week or 100 hours or 200 hours a month, whatever it is. What are we doing with our life? Get a job, get settled, earn some money, that will start your life, and that's where you are.
A single mother raising 2 kids.
She should have a job. We try to get up the ladder, but I cannot stop, because if I stop, who will pay the bills? Why should we not have joy because we have to survive?
Hello and welcome to the podcast Living Consciously. I'm Mihaela Nedela Perianu, and together with Rajesh Ramani, we will cover the topic of work. We all have to work. Whether we like it or not, this is what we have to do because we have to pay the bills. Work for some of us might be a source of fulfillment. For some of us, for many of us, it might be a burden. And on top of that, we have also AI that is making work very unpredictable. So I would like to ask you, what is your perspective on work? Why is it a burden when it is a burden? What makes it fulfilling when it is fulfilling? What does it take?
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of questions to start with.
Yes.
So, see, first we have to start with defining what we call work, so, and why we work. See, definition has pretty much narrowed down to a profession or a career or something that is a bit distinct from the rest of our life. But if you look at it in a bit of a wider perspective, then you would see work is all action done, Now, somebody says, I go to work, I go to an office, I go to a factory, I go to a company. And then somebody else is staying at home. And then the older narrative was like the person who is staying at home is not working, while the person going out is working. But nowadays our understanding is changing that the person at home is also working. Most cases women unpaid and all of that. But if we expand the scope of the word, work is action that we do in different circumstances. Sometimes action is at home, sometimes action is outside, sometimes action is immediately seen with an outcome, sometimes it comes out in 10 years. So we don't know. But there is an action done. And then action brings certain outcomes, either for ourselves or for others. So I would firstly want to expand this definition of work to include most other actions that we bring into our life.
What are you working or what job do you have? We attach this to being paid. And your perspective is expanding, and it's actions that we all do during our lives, whether we are paid or not.
Exactly.
Right? That's the perspective?
Yes. Because if you put work in a very small basket, then the work doesn't become important. All the other things that become important. That's why we come to the second question, why do we work? You said we have to pay bills. That comes under survival. So most people work for survival. Like if I don't work, I don't have money, so I can't live my life here, or it is not useful for my children, my family. So work has been seen as this provider of security, provider of our desires, provider of,
even of our worthiness.
Our worthiness.
That's a big chunk of when we talk about work. That's very clear criteria. And how much are you making?
Exactly.
And that gives you the pedigree.
Exactly.
That makes you bigger, stronger, or
A measure of value, a measure of our identity, what we are. And then so work is already carrying a lot of burden in these aspects. I've seen people who don't introduce themselves properly, and eventually I ask them, like, what do you do? And then they shrink, as you say. They shrink, like, I don't do anything, I'm just a mother, I'm just a father, as though being a mother and father is not worthy enough to be living in this planet. So there is a lot to go with values, a lot to go with identity that works brings into our life. So we have to be mindful of why we work. Otherwise, we get drawn into, it's for the money. So when you say it's for the money, then work is not going to fulfill you. Money is going to fulfill you. When we say it is for my power, then work is not going to fulfill you. Power is going to fulfill you. So you see, the way we bring an attitude towards work makes it how much it is worth in itself. I once met a person who said he has written a book. I said, like, I would want to look at that book. And I got that book and I went through a bit. I said, it really impressed me. It was so nice. He has put his thoughts, his original thoughts and emotions in it. And then I said, like, wow, it's so nice. And then his partner came into the room and she said, like, yeah, but it didn't sell. We just have to give it for free. And then his face fell right then. She told a fact, but his face fell right then. And then he felt like, it's not good enough for people to buy. And see, the whole thing, his whole effort, his whole engagement with that book, and everything has been finally reduced to being bought or being sold. And so what happens in this is, where is the fulfillment? So should fulfillment be measured about how much you sell? Should fulfillment be measured about how much money we make? Or do they actually fulfill you that much?
It is fulfilling in itself to write the book.
Exactly.
But you need to pay the bills, and that becomes a burden.
Yes. See, this is the thing. This is where we connect two different concepts of life into one, and then we want to find fulfillment there.
Okay.
Action in itself of that work is fulfilling. And then there is something else called making money. When we put the money as the primary thing, then work is not fulfilling anymore, because work becomes a means to an end, to another end. So one of the reasons, or some of the reasons why work becomes a burden in many people's lives is it is associated with survival, it is associated with power, it is associated with my identity in this world. So we have to keep it, we have to keep running, we have to keep running and running and running. I once met a girl who was going through a huge burnout and crisis, and she couldn't even sleep, and she was working harder and harder. She had no social life. I was trying to help her heal from that place. We did a few sessions every day, and then a week later, she got a promotion. And she said, Rajesh, I got a promotion. I can't deny it. I have to take it. And I told her, but you're not even sleeping now. What does that promotion mean? And she said, like, it means that I cannot complain about time, how much I work. I cannot complain about anything anymore. It's just that I will be in a position where I should not complain. So, but you're not sleeping. She said, I will have to manage with it. And I said, like, why? Why can't you say no? And she said, I worked for this so hard, and I've just climbed that ladder, and then they are showing the next ladder. If I don't take that ladder, I will be staying here. I will stop. My life will stop there. So her concerns sound genuine. But the problem is always this, like a carrot stick theory that we talk about here. We get caught up into this loop. I'm not blaming some corporates. I'm not blaming the system, but I'm blaming the individual who is caught up. We are caught up in a desire-fear loop. We have desire. We try to get up the ladder. And then we have fear that we'll either be stopped there or we fall off. So we want to continue, irrespective of whether that job or that activity that you are doing is fulfilling us, irrespective of whether it is what we actually want to do, So irrespective of that, this desire, fear loop keeps us going and going and going. I've seen so often people say like, I wish I would just stop and just sit there and do something. I will take my dogs for a walk. I will, play with my children. I can do all of those things. Then they say, but I cannot stop, because if I stop, who will pay the bills?
Rajesh, if we have to pay the bills, it's a fact.
It is a fact that we have to pay the bills. What happens is, so paying the bills is more important than living life.
Yes, it might be if you have 2-3 kids.
See, this is where the desire loop and fear loop keeps on going. I'm not asking people to stop working. I'm not asking people to say like, leave your job, sit home and dream. No, I'm asking you, what is the attitude that they bring to work, to what they are doing? If the attitude is primarily only for the money that I'm going to get so that I have to pay my bills, then what amount of interest, what amount of fulfillment that whole activity will bring? Imagine you work 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day, and then you work 50 hours a week or 100 hours, 200 hours a month, whatever it is. What are we doing with our life? And then we say we're doing it for the money, we're doing it for the family, we're doing it for it. And then that is what we tell ourselves. But in the whole process, you're not enjoying 8 hours of your life every day. There is no fulfillment in that work, because it is connected to only the outcome of it. Imagine if somebody has enough money.
Okay.
And then they start working now. How will the quality of their work will be?
Better.
Do you think so? Because then work is identified with identity. Why do they work? Do they work because they like what they are doing? Or do they work because of what it brings?
Assuming that we have a single mother raising 2 kids, yes?
She should have a job, right?
So, first, she should have a job. And whether the job is fulfilling or not is not important for the mother. What's important is to feed her 2 kids.
So, you mean to say that
there are life circumstances where you just need to work for money because you have the responsibility for other people.
Yes. So then work will be a burden.
Yes.
So they have to accept that work is a burden.
Exactly. This is what where I want to go. It's like there are circumstances where acceptance, we had an episode about acceptance, right? Or about awareness. It's I am aware that I'm doing this job to feed my kids. Is it fulfilling? What is fulfilling as a mother? The fact that I'm feeding my kids, right? Yes. So my job is not fulfilling, but taking care of my kids is fulfilling. So job is a burden, but it's fulfilling that I'm feeding my kids.
See, this is where, the job is a burden. I'm saying the job need not be a burden if the attitude towards the job changes. Mm-hmm. I'm not asking people to leave their jobs. I'm telling them, see, do you want to enhance the quality of your life?
Okay.
It doesn't mean we leave our jobs, but it means what is the attitude that we bring towards our jobs. The mother has to put food on the table, okay, so needs a job that she maybe doesn't like at all right now. Then what happens here is, why can't she have a better attitude towards that job, as well as, she has fulfillment in the other aspect of life. But the more she hates this part of her life, the job work, it reflects on how she is going to take care of the family.
Okay, so what you will suggest to the mother is try to find something in what you do at work that you love, so that when you go to work, you have also a sense of joy.
Exactly. So why should we not have joy because we have to survive? Because we don't have joy in that, the fear of survival always stays alive and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
See, that is the point. This is where when work is not fulfilling, when the attitude towards work is just as a means to an end, then the other fear will continuously stay.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about trust earlier, trusting life and everything. But, what happens is here, we don't trust life. We are only in fear. So we are holding on tightly to a job. And then so we say this is the only way and the only way. And I don't even enjoy this. I don't like this. So fear runs our thing. That's why I say fear and desire, also desire. It's not about just only fear for everyone. Because we speak about a person in the in really dire straits, and then we say okay, it's all about fear. As we increase into the next level, then now okay, I can afford to be in a nice house. Does fear stop there? As desire increases, fear increases. Desire increases, fear increases.
Okay,
and work gets associated with it at all levels. People who are making millions cannot stop it because do you really like it? But I have to continue my lifestyle. Otherwise, I will not be my identity will go away.
Yes.
So at each level, there is always fear associated with it. When we say okay, as a mother with 2 kids, and then we see that fear is so legitimate fear. But how is the other fear illegitimate? How do we say that?
With the multimillionaires. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's
at all
addiction.
levels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is where I see that work is identified with this fear all the time. It need not be. That's what my point is. It need not be. I also believe once this part of life is really unfulfilling and a burden, it naturally percolates and spreads into all other areas of life. And then we have bad relationships because this one is not working very well. And then we have low self-confidence about ourselves. We have no joy in life. So all of the other aspects of life are not insulated from this aspect of life.
So this takes us to the work-life balance. How do you view the work-life balance then?
See, I see work is part of life. Quite often people separate it as though there is work and there is your personal life. And then these two have to have boundaries. The only boundary is in a workspace, you bring a certain set of skill sets and a personality to do that job. And even in your the rest of your life, you have to bring different personality and different skill sets to do different jobs. Whether if you go and cook, and then you have to bring the cooking personality to do that. Otherwise, it will be a shoddy job. If you're a mother, you have to bring the motherly perspective to bring the personality to get there. If we bring the work personality into the children, then it doesn't work.
Okay. And that was constantly debated in the past years that work-life balance actually doesn't exist. It's because work is life.
Yes.
So it's not you live and you work. It's like a separation.
Exactly.
And work is included in life. It's part of life.
Exactly. But we have to be careful here by not going to extremes. So if you go to one extreme, which say okay, work is included in life, you better work 14 hours or 18 hours in a day because, you don't need the other part. On the other end, I can't work more than 3 hours in a day or whatever it is because I need the rest of my life. So blending the middle path is important. Work becomes a part of life. And it is already a part of life. And then other aspects of life need to be present and to be nourished as well. Otherwise, there is no meaning in doing this one. And if we are not doing this part of it, there is no energy to do the other part. So all of these parts have to be merged. And that merging can happen only when we don't divide and separate it too much. as like, this is completely different and this is completely different, and then we have to bring them together with importance. What happens otherwise is people get stuck in one area of life, and when there is a crisis in life, they have no choice. People who are stuck so much only in the work mode and work life, when something goes wrong in that area, they fall into depression, they fall into real suffering.
So what you recommend for
I would
those
recommend that people would simultaneously cultivate different aspects of their life, be it relationship, be it health, be it
hobbies
or whatever is passionate for you. See, we can approach work from different ways. One is, as we started by talking about, it has to be a provider, like, for money, for that benefit. The second one is people do things because they are good at it. Some people are really good at something, and then they do, like, I do it because I'm good at it. Is that your real passion? Is that what you would really like to do? I don't know, because I'm really good at it, And then the third one is where people do it for a passion. When I started my career, I started with the fear that, I need a job desperately so that I have to get some money.
When you started as a banker?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I started as a banker, that was my whole idea. Get a job, get settled, earn some money, that will start your life, and that's where you are. And then eventually I found out I'm really, really good at what I was doing. I was really good with the numbers. I was really good with understanding taxes. So with that and all of that, it was like, okay, I can do this job forever because this is very good. But if you ask me, do you really like this job and does it fulfill you? I would say, like, I don't think about that stuff. It's good. It's easy. It's very easy for me. Then life pushed me into the next thing where I became this teacher and a person who is counseling and helping others. And it shifted. This is my passion. If you ask me, like, okay, is this what you would want to do the rest of your life? I would say yes. So if somebody asks me, like, if you have other job, what will you do? Wherever I am, I will still be a teacher. That cannot be taken away from me. Now the banker has been taken away from me and I don't miss it. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But this one is where my
joy is.
is. But this is the third level, which is there is passion in it. We like it and we love it and we get engagement with it and we get fulfillment with this. There is a fourth level as well, Mickey. See, even with this, there is an expectation from me about how it should be received, how I should be respected, how I should be paid for it, how I am seen because I'm doing this job and all of that. So at this level, I'm not saying, this everyone should reach this level, but at this level, work is still a means to an end. It is not for the sake of that thing only. It is not like I have to be doing something because I'm just doing that. Life has brought me this right now, and it has given me skill sets to do this, and I'm doing this. So when this is where we say we do our duties, we do our works with that sense of detachment from what it is in it for me.
It's the thing with the spoon. It's about the other.
It's about the other. It's about the thing itself. Like, why am I making this mug? Because I know to make this mug, and it is an expression of myself flowing through me into the mug.
Okay,
it can sell and it can bring me money. But then my primary purpose of doing something is because it is an expression that is flowing through me.
So it's what we basically do with this podcast. What we are doing right now, you offered your time for free. I offered my time for free. TB, in which podcast studio we are, offered this studio for free. We won't gain anything. We don't do it for the money.
Yes.
We like it.
Yes.
And our best hope is that people will be inspired.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes, that's it. But there is a small but. Why I say that but is the attitude that we bring. It's not about just money. The attitude that we bring to this work that we do defines it. Not only now, in the coming months, in the coming weeks, and then, as we go through this whole exercise, internally, personally, each individual, as I do this work, and then what is the attitude that I bring? Is it at some point, Rajesh is like, all of these people are seeing this and they will respect me a lot because, that is what it is. Or I can improve my numbers in terms of my followers,
That's the vanity matrix. Mm-hmm.
So that other part, when it comes up, that is again another gain for me, and which is personal.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not saying I should stop that, but I'm saying what is that attitude? If that attitude goes into this work, maybe at some point, imagine, just for as an example, nobody watches these podcasts. Maybe 5 people watch this podcast, or 10 people, or even they don't watch it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Then what will happen to my work or our work here?
Not what will happen to our work, what will happen to our ego.
Exactly.
It's not the work, because the work is done. We recorded 8 episodes.
Exactly.
And we know that we will publish once per month, so the work is done.
The work is done. And then what will the attitude be towards this work when that goes away?
Yeah.
So the work, though fulfilling now, at that point it might seem like, oh, what a waste of time.
It's like you said in the example with the person who wrote the book.
Exactly.
Yes, and if it's not selling, then yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, let us bring the attitude that life has put us together here right now. And this is the work that life has brought us here. We are enjoying this, doing every bit of it. And then with an open heart, we are doing this. And let us do it, and let us get the fulfillment of doing it. Work for the sake of work.
Okay.
The other episode is different, whether it brings numbers, whether it brings money, whether it brings whatever it is.
It's not
that
our
is incidental.
Business. Yes. It's not in our control. It's not our concern.
It's not our concern.
Mm-hmm.
So when we bring a certain attitude to work, all other things also falling into place beautifully. Mm-hmm. Because when we bring this, life will support again and take care of it. And then we may fail in 1, we may fail in 2, we may fail in 3.
But it won't affect us.
It won't affect us so much, because we are doing what comes to us. Not only this job, any job, anybody.
Yes, I was thinking about that. It's the attitude of doing with love what you do, finding meaning and purpose in what you do, regardless what you do, and letting go of the expectations to be validated by others for what you do. Exactly.
So then what happens is, we work to do with a sense of excellence towards it. I am doing this because this is what my life presently is. My life presently is in this table. And if I am respecting this, because this is my life, this is not somebody else's job. Even if I'm doing a job for somebody else, this is my life lived in this moment. And that is why I say it is sacred.
Okay.
My life is really sacred.
Give your 100% presence here. Be present here and now.
Yes.
Okay.
And when I am present with that, and I am watching and I'm doing, because this is possible through me, so life flows through me in this moment and right here and now. And when I respect it, it becomes sacred. That means all work that I do is sacred. So this is where real respect is, in the sacredness of life and the sacredness of our work. Then, when I do it with that attitude, I can change jobs from one job to another depending on my needs. But wherever I go, whatever I do, I bring this attitude into that. Because it is my life. So most of us, what we do is, we are sitting and doing something. We are dreaming about the next stage of life, or I should be somewhere else doing something else. And so, or what is in it for me? When that question is big all the time, then we don't
You are not
there is no
present.
sacredness.
Yes.
We are not present.
Mm-hmm.
So this takes away the joy of life. This takes away this whole
Honoring ourselves.
honoring ourselves.
I would say.
Exactly. That's a beautiful word that you put in there. So this is where I want us to see. So instead of using this as a means to run around, this is your life actually.
Yes,
this is
it's
living.
like when you wrote that book, it's your life, it's your qualities, your gifts,
Exactly.
and
Everything
whatever
flows through you.
happens, yeah.
Why should we say, see, most people treat work as a separate one. I work so that I can rest. People look forward, how many people every week.
For the sabbatical.
For the sabbatical,
yes.
for the weekend. I'm waiting for Friday. And then I'm waiting for my vacation.
Okay.
I'm waiting for my break. So as though this aspect of their life is invisible to them, as though it is something that they have to do.
It's forced on them, I would say.
It's forced on them by life
invisible.
circumstances or by somebody else. It's forced upon them. I would say, why that attitude? Then it means you are denying, shutting off a part of your precious existence. So that is why it is essential to bring a shift in the attitude that we have towards any action. Some people say, I'm sitting at home, I'm doing all these stupid jobs at home and nobody respects me for it anyways.
Cooking, washing, kids,
cleaning,
walking
or
the
taking
dogs.
care of somebody else, and which is not paid enough or not paid at all or not acknowledged. I say, yes, if it is paid, it is good. If it is acknowledged, it is good. If we get some benefit out of it and everything is good, not against it. But do not depend on them to define you.
I got it. It's acknowledge your gifts at work, displaying. Like in our case now, it's I acknowledge my gift. The idea of doing this podcast, you acknowledge your knowledge to share with the world, and we are 100% here.
Exactly.
Enjoying what we do, and that's it. Do you know about Byron Katie?
Yes.
Yes. She has this thing like her favorite prayer is, God, please help me not to expect love, validation, appreciation from anyone else besides me. And she has this thing of just do the dishes as a metaphor. Yes, I'm doing the dishes. No, I'm doing the dishes. I'm fully present here, enjoying that I'm doing the dishes.
Yes.
I'm writing a book.
Yes.
Okay, it's the act of writing the book. Whatever happens next, I will do next, be present there next.
Exactly. Yeah. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu philosophy as well, it takes it one more step. When you do your duty or your work without expectation of the fruits of it for yourself, then that is the most sacred work. And that is God's work, whatever you do. It's not about helping other people or anything. It could be doing dishes, but that becomes God's work because you, the ego, has taken such a back seat, and what is present there is the action that is put in front of you. So, because the ego is not there, there is only God's work there, right there.
So do whatever you do without any expectations.
Without expecting the fruits for yourself. Life is making me do this through me at this point. Whether we call it life, whether we call it God, whatever we
life chose me to do this
in this
moment.
Sense,
in this moment.
In this moment, life is flowing through me. So it is sacred. So I'm honoring myself. I'm honoring life, and by being present there.
Yes.
And without ego there, and I enter into that space. That is the most beautiful space from which we can do duties, whatever the duty upon
whatever
is.
The duties are.
You know? And because we human beings are made for action. Even when somebody is meditating is it is not dullness. Meditating is tremendous action there. So anywhere we are made for action. So we have to find fulfillment in action.
Yes. So Rajesh, if we If you were to summarize, to wrap it up in 1 minute, the takeaway for our audience regarding work, what would it be?
Recognizing how burdensome your attitude towards whatever you are doing is.
Okay.
Irrespective of the nature of your job, irrespective of whatever you are doing presently. And then look at your attitude and then start seeing aspects of it which you are good at. When you pay attention, you will actually see that you are good at some parts of it, maybe not good at all parts, some parts of it. And then some part of it, you are also bringing some outcome for others, because that also expands us from ourselves into the other. We are bringing some benefit for somebody else too. So when you recognize that more and more, then you start loving and getting fulfillment. So what I'm good at, it's for myself. How it is affecting others, it is for my fulfillment now. As you expand this fulfillment more and more and more, at one stage you would have a greater respect and sacredness for that. That is when we slowly detach ourselves from that ego point and then open up doing work for what it is as such, as a flow of life. And that is an amazing place to be. So let us take one step. Let us start thinking about it today.
Yes. Okay.
Let us start thinking about it. Let us put perspective and let us start contemplating on this aspect of life.
Okay. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank
you very much. Your insights will bring more joy to all of you listening to this episode regarding whatever work, action you will do today or in the future. Please do not forget to subscribe to Rajesh's channel, Mindfulness and Beyond, for the international audience, and for the Romanian audience, Întrebări care ne schimbă viața. Thank you for listening and see you next time. Bye.